Joining us is Mark Jeffries. He's an author and keynote speaker who's coached politicians and CEOs on the art of debate. Good to see you.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to our studio.
It's great to be here. Last time on the phone, this time I'm actually with you.
You're a real person.
The hottest day of the year.
Yeah, so welcome.
So let's start with the traditional handshake. The nominees did not shake hands at the beginning nor at the end of the debate. What message were they conveying there?
Well, why don't we just go with severe dislike? The funny thing is, as a viewer, I just feel so much discomfort when you see them come out because you know they just hate each other. There's no way there's going to be a handshake. Last time, interestingly, when they were asked to compliment each other, they were forced to compliment each other, there was a handshake afterwards, and it was like kind of a bit of relief. It was light relief, but not this time.
I don't know about you, but when I'm watching this, I want to hide my eyes.
Me too.
It's so
Mark,
uncomfortable. And when they don't shake hands, you know they actually just dislike each other.
You could cut the tension with a knife.
Seriously.
Well, first of all, this is Donald's go-to finger position. I think I've got about that right. I call this the listen to me finger. Because when he puts this up, what he's actually saying is, shush everyone, you now need to listen to me more than the other time because this is now really important. There it is. You see it happening at the same right. Now that's the first bit. And he just does that as a way of gaining attention. It's like a kind of a beacon transmitting his information. But the pointing that he should not do, and when I coach either executives or indeed politicians, the one thing you should never do is point at somebody. You don't point at your audience, and you do not point at your competitor, the person that's standing opposite you. Why? Because it's hugely aggressive. And then teaming the point with the word she just doubled down on that very aggressive approach to his answer. Now, I think it's interesting to point out, this is the character that he is playing. He's angry.
He's enraged. He's furious. Hillary just had this appalled look. Now, what's interesting is they were both actually playing to their bases with these faces, right? Because everyone on the Trump side is angry and everybody on the Hillary Clinton side is just like appalled.
And I always wonder, wouldn't it be nice to see him smile every once in a while? But I suppose, to your point, it plays into...
Well, it does. And actually, there were some smiles last night, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and call them the smile lies. Because every time one of the candidates was caught in a lie or in some way was embarrassed, there was this kind of smile. The smile was like, oh, it doesn't matter to me. But actually, it does. Now, you asked me about the podium. And again, this was something Donald did. Hillary just had her hands on the podium, which is the right thing to do. It's how we're trained. Donald holds on like it's a roller coaster ride. Now, this can show one of three things, either discomfort, dominance, or actually fear. Now, we can read into it what we will, but I would say that he was showing dominance, but he was also very uncomfortable. And that's when you get that roller coaster. You can see it in their fingers. They go white because they're holding on so tight.
So the clash was over a number of issues. What do you think were some of the key moments in the messaging this time?
I think it was very repetitive, and I was trying to listen to something new. And Hillary is so well trained. She's so well versed, but it feels like and it sounds like she's reading a script. She gets the words spot on, and if you look at her eyes, she's constantly looking down at her notes, making sure she hits all the right points. Her high point in terms of messaging, I thought, because she knew Donald was going to say, you've been around for 30 years, you've not done any of this yet, what are we waiting for? She was ready for that. And she had this very set piece,
decade by decade.
Right? Decade by decade, what she was doing and what he was doing.
But here's my question for you. This seems to me like there's more psychology going on behind the scenes in this particular election than ever before. I also noticed Hillary kind of holding her breath when Donald Trump uttered the word liar. I wanted to know if you noticed that and what you made of it.
Well, you're entirely right, and what I find fascinating about this whole process, because I've been on both sides, and I'm now a keynote speaker, so I do a lot of presentations, but I've also been behind where I coach, is you tell people how they should react. You prepare people for what's likely to happen. When I look at these two candidates, I see one who's very well trained, very well coached, and is following the instructions she's been given really well, right down to the letter. And the other candidate either doesn't want the coaching, doesn't take the coaching, or can't remember the coaching because he just doesn't follow any of the rules. But maybe that's the way it is now. Maybe following the rules is the error. Did you see Saturday Night Live where the impression of Hillary has her walking across the stage? She goes, I'm now going to walk across like I've rehearsed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and speak. That's what it feels like.